This is Mad Unity, our EDM life.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Mad Unity, our EDM life.
Our goal with this podcast is to share our love of music with you all. We're here to give a platform to up-and-coming producers, DJs, and every other creative person that makes this thriving scene what it is. In this, our debut episode, we bring you the first of many track checks with two absolute bangers from Machima and Established music.
We also have our list of the top 5 tracks that never left our USBs in 2024.
And Phrequency's killer remix of Jauz's Higher for Your Love in our new releases segment. We also share our thoughts on top industry stories in our first edition of The Drop and close out the hour by introducing Tales from the Rave.
Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast platforms and let us know in the comments what you think of the many conversations we'll be bringing you this season. Keep up with the latest on our socials. We're at Mad Unity Radio in all of them. And check out music.madunity.com to submit your tracks, or tales.madunity.com to send us your favorite and maybe even salacious festival stories.
And here's to a happy, healthy, prosperous, and plurry 2025. Now, let's go! Check, 1, 2. All right. So, today we are going to be going over all of the track submissions that people have been sending. We've been getting a lot of really great music, and it becomes really hard to choose, right? Because, you know, it's there's some good stuff out there. So, right now, we will be going over the unreleased tunes that people submitted.
Yep, these are all the unreleased. We gave them all a 1 through 5 rating,
right?
And everyone's criteria was a little different. Like, I was looking at mix and like the story. Like, what are you trying to get me to do? What are you trying to tell me with this song?
And I was also looking at story a little bit, but from a different, like, from more like how it made me feel. Like, if it was an energetic track, did it keep my attention the whole time? Or, you know, sometimes. Right. You know, things, even when I'm making songs, they get boring halfway through. So, you know, that was, and also just like sound quality. Like, you know, I'm not as well versed as you in terms of the mixing, but, you know.
Like I was saying earlier, you can have a really bad song sound really good. Yeah. And then you can also have a really good song just have terrible mixing, and it just makes it a bad song.
Yeah, it kills it. Yeah. No, so between us, we averaged our ratings, and I think we had a pretty much good consensus in terms of the songs.
Yeah.
So
I think we're gonna listen to them, like the intro and about the first drop, get halfway through the track, and then we're gonna tell you what we think. Maybe give some constructive criticism. Don't get mad.
Yeah, it's always funny, right? Because, you know, as it's all gonna be, you know, in good fun.
I mean, it's constructive criticism. Right. It's not meant to hurt your feelings or hurt your ego.
Yeah.
If you get mad about it, maybe you should worry about something else. We're just trying to help here. And also, we're going to give some praise. There's a lot of tracks in here that were phenomenal.
Yeah, So, you want to start with the first one?
Yeah, so the first submission we got is from EST or EST.
Yeah.
Unsure how to pronounce, but they submitted a track, and the track name is Rocket, all one word, and the genre is going to be trap. So we're going with the trap vibe on the first one. We asked each person to tell us why they submitted this track, or like tell us about the track, so we could just see like what they had to say about it. And this first one, he said, this tune was one that I really felt like pushing myself as a producer to start making music outside of the dubstep and D&B scene. I had a lot of fun working on the song, and I think that comes out during the finished product. I used a lot of classic vocals and sounds that I think blend together with hip-hop feels that, when blended together, make a very fun and energetic tune. So, Jorge, you want to hit play on this?
Let's
and then we'll check it
go.
out?
I like the intro.
The synths.
Yeah.
musicians.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and you see on the waveform here, it gets
Yeah.
yeah. So this is kind of what I was saying, where the track's very dynamic.
The sound quality and everything. The mix down is really clean.
Yeah,
on
so
this one.
It was definitely why we both rated it really highly on that one because
we came in hot using this as the first track.
Yeah, but for sure. Yeah, no, I think this is it's Rocket by EST or EST.
EST.
Yeah. We'll find out how we'll find out how. Maybe let us
Here's
know.
drop 2. Oh, that's a classic vocal.
Yeah. There we go. And that was another thing I was listening to, like the samples, right? Because
that was vocal samples in that one were clean.
Yeah,
good selection.
And sometimes there were a few that have samples that are kind of overplayed, and in my mind, that's sort of like.
See, but that vocal
down a little bit.
That vocal on the second drop where it says DJ, come with the tune.
Right.
That for me is the icing on the cake where I'm like, okay, they get it.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, where's the balance, right? And it's just really context, right? Like, if the whole song sort of relies on a vocal or any sample,
right,
that's sort of overplayed. To me, it's just sort of.
Well, that's why it was nice. That was on drop 2 and in the middle of drop 2.
Yeah.
So at the very end, and it was like, oh,
it keeps the band
ending with this. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was a dope track.
That one hit all the I'm probably gonna download that from the Dropbox.
Yeah.
Just hold on.
And just maybe play it out every once in a while.
That might be on the USB.
That was another thing. Like, would I put this on my USB? Even though I don't play much dubstep, but
this would be. I would go to Hypedit and do the gates to download this one.
Nice. You would actually do all the things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, high praise from Mr. Frequency there.
That was a good one.
Yeah. What do you have next?
All right. Next, we have a local talent, Madison, Wisconsin. We have Machima, who sent in a song, and the track name is Rapid Fire in all caps. It says that this is going to be a dubstep 145 track, and then when asked about the track, he said, loud dubstep track with an ear-catching pre-drop. It comes out on December 27th of this year with Frost Fright Records. So we got a record.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, so by the time this airs, this will be a new release.
This should be out by the time this airs. So
so
this
check
will be
it out.
Fresh.
Yeah, this was another one that had me going. Shall we go?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Yeah.
Some Machima coming in hot.
Yeah,
on that
man.
one.
It was, when I was listening to this, I think the main thing was that there's so many good smooth changes and transitions. Like the call and response is like heavy,
I started writing down notes now as we were listening.
Yeah.
And for this one, I said, to go on your point, the fills are very fun.
Right.
Like those fill breaks and stuff that he's got. The sounds and the stuff he chose is really... Yeah. And then I also said on top of that, the pre-drops, like before it drops and it hits, are so obnoxiously good. Because it's like a stupid... Like, the synth is so obnoxious, but it builds up, like, up the keys and then boom.
Yeah.
And, like,
it just sort of... Well, it plays really well with the tension.
And
like,
it adds some fun to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's different and, like, adds a little, like, haha moment.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously. And then, Machima's whole, like... aesthetic is a little fun anyway, right? He's a fun guy. So,
my only critique on this one was on the intro, give me a little bit more sub.
Yeah.
More like it was good. There was low end, you could tell, but I wanted just a little bit more, and then tame the highs of those saws.
Right.
Since that came in,
the
tame the highs, but I
melody.
think the highs will get tamed. I'm pretty sure the way to tame the highs is just add the sub a little bit more and make it louder, because the low end will compensate for the highs and
fill in a little bit more of the.
So I think the only
crunchiness.
thing is just turn the sub up and it's gold.
Yeah, man. Congrats on that tune.
Yeah.
We look forward to having it out.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
On a record label.
What's that?
It's on a record label too. That's cool.
Yeah. So everyone look for it in your streaming services. Rapid Fire by Machima.
Go give it a comment on SoundCloud. That's like the number one thing.
If you're a producer or know someone who is, send us your tracks. We'd love to feature them on the podcast. Whether it's a work in progress, an unreleased tune, or a new track you've put out recently, we want it. Simply go to music.madunity.com and fill out the form.
Welcome back to Mad Unity, the podcast, not the radio anymore.
Right.
We're here, it's Jorge and Phrequency. We're going over our top 5 tracks of the year. So the tracks that we had on repeat, that we loved, that we just vibed to for the whole year. Maybe they'll show up on our Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, they definitely will.
I have a few that are SoundCloud exclusive though, so.
Oh, yeah.
Could only find them on SoundCloud.
Can we put them on a SoundCloud? Because we do have a SoundCloud, Mad Unity Radio, so maybe we could do a playlist
We could like repost them or something and put them on a playlist. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can look for our top 5 in a playlist on SoundCloud and on Spotify, hopefully. But so to start off, my top 5. So we'll start at my number 5 and we'll go up. My first one is Toxic. It's the Samplifier remix of Toxic. So, Britney Spears' Toxic. That song, but remixed by Samplifier.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to have to check out the SoundCloud.
Yeah, definitely check that one out. It's just one of those where it's a sing-along the whole intro, and then it gives you, like, everyone singing it, and then it does this crazy drop where it's just rhythm, square 4, and it's just your typical... Yeah. But... That's my number 5. It goes off. Number 4, I'm going to have Froggy Rhythm by Monks. And that one just came out, actually, like, recently, and it made my list. Like, it was a recent release, and it made the list because I was just like, come on.
Yeah, I have a couple of those in my list, too.
The intro, very cool. It gets you to the point, and then the drop is where it gets you, because the bass sounds like a frog, just like the title, like Froggy Rhythm. The bass sound like a frog. And then the melody is insanely catchy. Like, you'll hear the synth on the switch up of the drop that comes in, and it's leading the whole thing, and it's just ear-catching candy.
Nice.
But it's the lead, so it's just even better.
You're right.
That one got me at number 4. Number 3, this will probably be my number 1 most played on Spotify. It's not my number 1, but it is... I play it a lot. It's Movement by Hall and Marshmello.
Oh, yeah?
So this is when Marshmello was going through his little, like, dubstep rhythm phase. Like, he got out of the pop music for a little bit, like, a couple months ago.
Right.
And he went into this, like, my genre, dubstep bass scene. And he made a collab with this French guy named Hall, who I've seen multiple times. Extremely distorted basses and just, like, in your face. Like, cool pre-drop melodies that get you hooked, and then... boom, distortion, subwoofer right in your ear. And
nice.
Yeah, and then he collabed with Marshmello, so like it was good marketing on top of it because Marshmello obviously has a mass following.
Right.
And it helped. I like the song not just for the song. It really pushed, like it says, like the title of the song's movement. It sort of is pushing the dubstep movement and like the bass music movement because it's going to this mainstream area. Like Marshmello's fan group, they're like, what is this?
Right.
Like they're used to like Halsey on a track or like Juice
Right.
WRLD, and now they're hearing like Hall and Sudden Death collabing with this dude, and they're
Yeah.
like, what? Like, this is like one of those things where the parents are like, don't listen to that racket. Like, you know? But that's why I like this song. And number 2, it's going to be Brain Rot by Ahi.
Okay.
So Ahi was one of the first production tutorials I ever watched. Like, he posted tutorials, and he was like one of the big ones that I watched and grew up on.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was he showed everyone how to make the Skrillex like master racks.
Oh, okay.
So like Skrillex known for being loud and
Right.
clean.
Right.
And this guy showed how he looked at literally Skrillex one time posted a YouTube video, and it was literally just him scrolling through his Ableton as the music video for a song. Like, it was him just like flexing. Like,
Right,
he's like,
right.
look at this. And this guy went through that video and dissected it and made a whole docu-series or whatever
Right.
of just like the breakdown of like what he did.
Oh,
and
wow.
now it's cool seeing this guy as like, he's in my top 5 because his songs are starting to hit now.
Yeah.
And this one is called Brain Rot. It's about like all the brain rot out there. So like Twitter, Facebook, social media in general. Like when you're just doom scrolling, you know,
Right.
and just like endlessly scrolling. This song, the intro, all the lyrics are like talking about like media and like it's just like buy, consume, this, that.
Right. Right.
And then the drop, it's like brain rot. And then it's literally a sound that hits on the drop that is like how your brain probably feels after doom scrolling.
Right, right.
It's just like, like, but that was my number 2. It's played a lot in my car. And then number 1, released very recently. It's called Stoned to Death by Muerte and Stoned Level.
Okay.
So Muerte went to the school Icon Collective just like I did.
Yeah.
And was a key figure in like my finding my sound and like learning.
Yeah.
Because he also had tutorials that I watched, and just like seeing him go through the same process I did at the school and seeing how he turned out, I'm like, dude, this is cool. And
Right.
then he collabed with this guy named Stone Level, and Stone Level plays around the Midwest a good amount actually.
Okay.
But they collabed, they made this song, and the intro gets you to the point like usual, dubstep, like
Right.
fast, simple. But then the pre-drop, it's like these synths that are just like chugging along, like getting you hyped and hyped and hyped. And then the pre-drop vocal says like, ladies and gentlemen, and then it's just...
Right.
So it's
Nice.
like the perfect song for like, if they were introing their set, it'd be just like the perfect like, ladies and gentlemen, boom.
Right, right.
And then like it hits. And just the cleanness of the sound design and the mix in this one was just outstanding. For like a bass music sound where you're throwing sounds at a wall and
Right.
it's just a brick wall. This one was like, it's being thrown at a brick wall, but I can distinctly tell each little thing that's like being
That's
thrown
happening.
at the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. That's one of the hardest things, right? The separating the sounds to make them crisp.
Right. It's just separating the sounds and not like you want it to be loud still.
Right. Because sometimes it feels muddy, you know, like
Yeah,
it's
and
really
a lot
hard.
of that is just people just turning it up too loud. Like
Right.
there's a balance where you need to turn the song down to turn it up.
Right.
It's a weird little relationship. but
Right.
basically, in the mix down, just turn it down, like make it legible.
Right.
You don't need to be mixing it loud. And then all you got to do on the master is just turn it up.
Just crank
Literally
it up.
just crank it, and then you should be good. But a lot of people are just mixing loud and then cranking the loud.
Right.
So then you're just
right.
getting
So
like,
you saturate the frequencies.
you're getting it all
basically.
saturated.
I'm guilty of that all the time.
And it's fair. Like you want your
Yeah.
track to be loud. Everyone
Yeah.
loves loud music. Like
Right.
some songs sound better when they're loud.
Right.
Like you listen to a song in your car, it's quiet and it's not
Yeah, it doesn't hit
as
the
good
same.
as when you turn it up. But then if you turn it up, you're like blasting it, and the person next to you in the car is like, "Why are you listening this loud?" And like it's like, you don't get it, dude.
yeah.
It's EDM. I gotta listen to this.
I gotta crank it up.
It's gotta be cranked. But yeah,
Awesome. So to recap, your top 5 were you
my
started,
top
you started
5.
with
so
5, right?
5 was "Toxic" by Samplifier, Britney Spears remix. Number 4 was "Froggy Rhythm" by Monks. Number 3 was "Movement" by Hall and Marshmello. Number 2 was "Brain Rot" by Ahi. And number 1 was "Stoned to Death" by Muerte and Stoned Level.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you for that
That
list.
is my top 5
Nice.
of the year.
Of the year. Well, mine is mostly drum and bass with one house tune thrown in for good measure.
Drum and bass.
Because that's literally what I've been listening to all year. Like I got really consumed and into there's so much good new music coming in. and
Right.
just need that energy in my life, I suppose. And I kind of came up with that. It came up on drum and bass. Like
Well, it feels like everyone's been turning it up at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was sort of a slow start to the year with music. And,
Yep.
And like not that many memorable tunes that I'm still listening to from early in the year. But
Right.
like right now, people are turning the heat up. Like
Yeah.
it's all gas. And
No.
I think it's because there's less shows because it's getting
probably
colder.
everybody's starting to put music out.
It's that winter like break where
Yeah.
everyone's sort of just like cranking in the studio instead
Right.
of going out, and then
Right.
we come back in the spring and it's going to be just loads of music.
Yeah, no, that's typically why the Winter Music Conference used to happen in February in Miami, because that was like a good time for producers to
Right.
get out, and I think that may be coming back, but that's a whole other topic.
That's for another podcast.
So my number 5 is not a very well-known producer, but I just love this tune. And this is actually from back in May. I went through my whole Beatport list and all the other, and I had like 250 songs
On Beatport?
on Beatport.
That's a lot of moolah.
Yeah,
That's
so I
a
was
lot of
because I
moolah.
was buying a lot of songs for the show, right? So like
Yeah.
every few weeks I would just do a whole new set.
Were you doing MP3s or waves?
I was doing AAFs, yeah. So it was.
Oh, you were doing lossless?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
crazy,
I know,
dude.
I
So
know.
you're like,
Well, because
the amount of songs you had times 2 is how much you spent.
Yeah, well, basically, but they raised the price too recently.
Yeah,
at
well,
first.
I mean, you're getting the AIF. That's
Yeah.
like the full,
Yeah.
that's the most expensive tier, dude.
Yeah, but I just figured since I was playing them out, whatever.
Yeah, you want it to be the loudest it can be.
But this song stuck out of all the sea of like music. It's called
Right.
"Fire in the Hole" by Crystal Clear,
Fire in the hole.
and it just has this sort of like wobbly bass, and the beat is really just basic, like bass
Right.
drum snare. But it sounds so clean and so crisp, and it's like it just reminds me of like old warehouse
Yeah.
jungle sounds.
So is it like analog or digital?
It's a digital, yeah,
Okay.
and it's so these are all these are all
Gotcha.
the digital versions. But "Fire in the Hole"
But does
by
it have
Crystal
like
Clear.
analog sounding to it, or is that
no?
like,
It's just got a really goofy sample that goes
Gotcha.
something fire in the hole, and then it just goes whoa, 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 and it just builds up that wobbly bass
Right.
that I love. Number 4 is a song I actually heard it in when I was in LA. This one dude, I forget his name. He played it at a like just in a park.
was that like this year when you went
This
to
year
LA?
when I
Nice.
went to LA, and it was actually, and it turns out to be these producers from Chicago, Panfil and Rob,
Mhm.
and it's called "For the People," and it's another one with a wobbly bass, except this one's house. It's like a bass house sound,
Nice.
and
Is it for the people?
for the people.
No, but is it for the people?
for the people? Like
No, but
the-
is it actually?
What do you mean?
Like, would you say it sounds like it's for the
Oh
people?
yeah, yeah, it's
That's what I mean.
definitely yeah. It's definitely like music for the people.
Yeah.
yeah. And it was that's one that I just crank on the in the car or
Yeah.
like just to wobble around.
Turn it from 20
It's
to 26 real quick.
Basically,
on the
yeah,
volume knob.
yeah. That's why I'm deaf. Whatever.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Yeah. Number 3 is a song by Andy C. and Becky Hill, who are two like drum and bass legends.
Yeah,
essentially,
Andy
right?
C.
Yeah,
I know that name.
Yeah, he's actually playing in Chicago at this
going?
point. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the
You're like at
sixth-
every drum and bass show.
Dude, I
Like,
gotta
you're
be.
like-
I need my
like-
fix when I go.
You got
I
like
got-
a little addiction. Yeah,
right,
like drum and bass.
I gotta go dance. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
hard to get the same dancing. Like I'm usually soaked in sweat.
Right. Well, you
But,
gotta come to one of my sets. I'll show you what's up.
Dude,
No, I'm just kidding.
well, when you play it, no, I've been to your sets.
Just
I had
kidding,
fun
I
at
don't play shows.
Yeah, Frequency's on hiatus.
I'm not on a hiatus. I'm just in the production den.
Right.
Just grinding right now.
Yeah, it's like the shows can wait for when you have a
Shows
a
are good content. At the end of the day, it's good content, but I don't need to play every week. Like,
Right.
What's like,
yeah. No,
I got enough photos the one time a month.
Right.
I want to work on music.
right, and then it's just more fun that way.
Yeah.
For you. So that song is called "Indestructible," and it's got a really killer vocal by Andy C. That's one thing that drum and bass has embraced. A
Vocals?
bunch of different like kind of genres merging together, and then the vocals
Right.
kind of remind me of like the progressive when vocals in progressive house were a thing, right?
Right.
They're starting. I think people started being able to wrap their head around the speed of the song, the beat, the tempo,
Right.
and then just kind of being able to sing around it
Well,
more,
I mean,
more
you're
fully.
you're even seeing it in mainstream. Look at The Weeknd. Remember?
Right. Yeah, that song was like 150.
What song was that?
It was
175.
Was it 175?
Because I played at the bars, so I play once a month at the bars, and like that's one of the Blinded by the Lights.
Right. Yeah. Blinding Lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
one's
has
174.
Yeah. And
when I tap it in, and then another song that's a popular song is "Stay" by Justin Bieber and Kid Laroi.
Oh yeah.
Remember that song?
No, I don't remember that one.
But it was a popping song. It was like number one. But that one's 174 as well. Whether it's drum and bass type beat, but it's them just being Justin Bieber and So like,
and so I was a number 3, right?
Yeah, that was 3.
So what happened here? And speaking of the tempo, song number
We're
2.
Gonna keep going with the tempo.
Well, song number 2 is literally called "Push the Tempo" by Subfocus.
Yeah,
and that's actually a song that just recently he's put out like banging tune after banging tune this year because he's been doing that stuff with what is it, Worship?
It's like your number one most talked about artist,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, and so that song, you know, when I first heard it, I was like, "What's this vibe?"
Right.
And then the more I kind of heard it after the third or fourth time, I realized that it's because he's using like a chord progression from flamenco, right? Like that sort of bum, 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 and just kind of made it work. Like you don't really, it just adds a vibe, right?
It's something you notice.
Yeah, and it's like the flamenco is all minor chords basically.
Gotcha.
It's sort of darker, but the tune really hit me. That's why it just shot up to my my number 2 for the year, even though it just came out
that one hit your pineal gland a little bit different.
Exactly. Like in a lot of it's like I've been digging his production for years now.
Yeah.
And the number 1.
Number one.
Number 1 without, let me see, did we go? Yep.
Yeah, you're at 1.
Number 1 without, it's no surprise, Hooked by Coven.
There it is.
Yeah, because that you did. So like the story behind this song, me liking this song was, I randomly found it, like I dug it on Beatport, loved it, and I played it on the show, like, as soon as I got it.
It's on the USB.
Yeah. And so, this was right before EDC, and then I go to EDC and I'm like in the bus trying to figure out what lineup who I want to see.
Yeah, like a full night. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh shit, she's playing on Sunday.
Nice.
And I got to see her perform it live, and I think the song itself by itself would have been one of my top 5. But I think the fact that for me is that she sings it live every time she performs.
Nice.
And it's like it's a production duo. Like it's like
it's
this guy.
Whole setup.
Yeah, it's like she, this guy produces and she's the singer, but they're just really good. A really good combo together.
Right.
And that just sort of puts it over the top for me. I think there's that's another trend where like drum and bass is becoming kind of almost popular, not pop music, but popular enough to where it can support these artists that are like just like legit next level. Like, she's also an amazing DJ in terms of like mixing and just like doubling, sometimes tripling songs in her sets. And I'm like, what the
see, and that's like another thing is like you're saying she sings this live.
Yeah.
That's like a whole, if you can sing or do anything live, like if you're a DJ right now and you're like, what can I do to set myself apart as a DJ?
Right.
If you can sing or you can play the drum pad or do anything live.
Right.
2 things. 1, you're standing out already.
Right.
Like everyone has a USB. Everyone can mix.
Right.
Number 2, you're going to get paid more.
Right.
Fun fact.
Because
if you're bringing instruments in or you're doing live performances, there's usually a payment. You usually get paid more or should be getting paid more if they're doing you right.
Right.
From an industry standpoint, if you're bringing in a push pad or anything like that, like when you see Fred again performing, he's getting paid more than just a DJ showing up and plugging in a USB.
Right.
Just because he's got the live aspect.
Right.
Even if you only use it for one song, you can tell the venue I have a live aspect and you're getting more money.
Oh, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I learned that at school was that if you can get any kind of live aspect in, you're
Well, that's why that machine, that's what Fred again uses, right?
He uses so much. I saw him at Alpine Valley.
Oh, you did go to that show?
Yeah. It was on a Sunday. Such good vibes.
Yeah.
Like it's Sunday right before you got to go to work the next day and you're going to see Fred again.
Yeah.
And it's like on a bluff. Like if you've ever been to Alpine Valley, it's literally just an amphitheater like on grassy hill.
Right.
Like, down into like a thing. And he had a drum guy next to him that had like 5 different setups of drums.
Yeah.
All of them had different presets for each song. So they're all different. And then he had his setup, like usual, his piano. He also had just an acoustic piano, just straight up piano.
Oh, really?
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just playing like the regular piano there. And then he ran up the hill, like this hill that everyone's in Alpine Valley. He ran up, goes to the middle by the lawn seats, and he has another drum pad set up, and he's like sort of standing above everyone in the middle of the crowd, so it's like a boiler room style setup.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's still...
He just like went through the crowd and then back
he went up
into
and
his
around
setup.
the crowd, and there's a spotlight on him running the whole time, and it's like... It's such a long run uphill, and then he just gets right on the pad and goes.
It starts going. That's awesome.
And you've heard his music; it's like fast. So he's like,
all hyped up,
like, hitting it super fast. After he just ran like half a mile just to get up there, and then the cool part was he was playing like Skrillex samples. Like he would just randomly put Skrillex in. You'd hear Rumble. You heard like songs. And then he got to Ratata, and then he like cut it hard. And he's like, "Guys, I'm sorry, I can't keep doing like teasing you like that." Like because it was just it was like Skrillex songs, so it was
playing,
just banging, dude.
That's
like,
funny.
Yeah, but it was such a good. That was top 3 concerts this year.
That's awesome.
We should do a top.
Oh yeah, we should do it.
We should do a top 5.
Yeah,
for concerts we've seen this year.
I wonder. I don't think I've even done 5 shows this year.
Really?
I've been a bit of a hermit. No, maybe I have, but 2 of them were COVID.
I mean, that counts.
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah, no, those were definitely. So yeah, to recap.
You can count EDC too. That's
right, so EDC and then...
you can count each person you saw at EDC as like, we'll just say sets. You don't have to say show.
Well, actually, favorite sets, yeah.
Favorite sets you saw live.
Yeah, that would be a better one.
I better be in that.
Yeah, no. Well, I did see you. Wait, was that this year when you opened you played support for Aliens?
No, that was last year with Leaf.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that was last year?
That was last December.
Damn, time flies.
It was actually a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Time does fly.
Time does fly. But that was a fun night.
Yeah. All right, so to recap my top 5, starting with number 5, Fire in the Hole by Crystal Clear. Number 4, For Da People by Panfill and Rub. Number 3, Indestructible by Andy C. and Becky Hill. Number 2, Push the Tempo by Subfocus. And number 1, Hooked by Coven. What were your top tracks of 2024? Tell us in the comments. And if you have a favorite producer in your life, tell them to submit their works in progress, unreleased or newly released tracks through music.madunity.com. So we're getting to our segment, and our next music segment, which is new releases. And we are thinking that since Phrequency is a co-host and he puts out some great music, we're going to feature his latest release. You want to tell us a little bit about it? Yeah,
so the song is called Higher for Your Love, and it's by Jauz. I made the remix with my friend One Drop, and his name's Andy. He is in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So I go up there to DJ the bars like once a month just to like keep my thing going because that's where I went to school. And I usually stay at his place and we'll like work on music during the daytime before we have to DJ and then see what happens. And we actually didn't work on this song in person together.
Oh yeah?
This
was
is
it just all remote?
It was all remote. He sent me the stems, I played with it, sent it back, he played with it, and then I like finished it off and mastered it.
Yeah.
And then that's how we made the track. But like it was the first time we didn't work in person and it worked out better.
Nice. Well, let's take a listen. This is Jauz, Higher for Your Love. second drop that got me.
You like that one? Nice.
That's what I put on the reel.
The second drops usually turn out better.
Yeah. That's when all the lasers come out. All right.
Cool.
Nice one, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it's a really fun
one.
Yeah.
It's fun when you actually have like a storyline and like there's like meaning behind it. Like it feels.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel the emotion in that one compared to like some of my other songs where it's just like a fuck you like drop and there's nothing.
Which is a story in its own, but it's not as deep.
Not as deep. That one hits a lot harder.
Yeah, it does. All right. Well, that was Frequency and One Drop for Your Love. Up next, The Drop, where we comment on the stories that caught our attention about our EDM scene. In this, our opening episode, at the start of a brand new year, we go over the lineups that have been announced for some of the major festivals happening in the US in 2025. From Movement and Electric Forest in Michigan to Electric Daisy Carnival in Vegas.
All right, what's up, everyone? We're here to talk about this segment called The Drop. And what The Drop is where we explain news going on in the EDM world, your latest like songs that came out that you're playing, the music festival lineups coming out, we're reviewing those, and just like the gossip of like the scene, like what's going on social media, what are people talking about. So today we're going to start out we're going to review some festival lineups that have dropped already. Most of these festivals are pretty Midwest based. The farthest we go out is Kansas City, and I think Jorge, we're going to consider that Midwest, right?
Yeah, I think so. We'll call Kansas the Midwest.
We'll call them. They're in the same time zone, so I'm counting it.
And they get tornadoes, so I think that counts.
Exactly. And we're going to just start off right away with the first festival that I saw with the lineup, and I'm actually attending for the third year in a row. It's going to be Dancefestopia in Kansas City. So this festival is...
You've played at that one before, right?
I played at it twice, 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Not scheduled for this year.
Yeah.
But I wasn't scheduled to play on it last year, but I happened to have my USB on me.
Nice.
And that was one of those moments where they're like, always make sure you have your USB on.
Right.
And I did. And the promoter, which I know, the guy that runs like the bookings, he was like, hey, this guy didn't show up. I know you're here.
Yeah.
Do you want to play at this time slot? And it was like 30-minute warning. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So I played on the second stage, which is, they have 2 stages total. One big stage, and the second stage is like, during the daytime, it's like the locals play on it and regional acts play on it. No one like crazy big.
Yeah.
And then at night, after the main stage closes at midnight, they throw like big names on the second stage, and it's like an underground after party in a way.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 stages. It's not like 8 or 9.
No, and you can't miss anyone. Like that's the cool part about the lineup is you really, unless you want to see like a local during a big artist that's going during the day, you're not really going to miss a single act at this. You can camp out the stage the entire day. It's actually fun. Like this year my group, we're just getting older. This is how you can tell. We bought a hotel. No. We're still camping. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
We have car camping, but we actually bought a wagon. So like it's a foldable wagon, and so then we don't have to walk all the way back to the car. So like you're at the festival all day, it's hot out during the day, and then festivals usually gets cold at night, so you want to change and get comfy, right?
Yeah.
So we brought a wagon this time where we're gonna keep our like our inflatable couches go in it, our clothing for the night goes in it.
So the wagon you pull in, you mean like tools and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Typically, but you're using it.
But it's not. It's a foldable like cloth wagon. It's nice, but yeah, we put all of our stuff in there, and the plan is we're just gonna go in, and then we just sit at that stage. We have our inflatable couches. We have
like we used to say in the Boy Scouts, be prepared.
Yeah, we're getting and we're just getting older and older. I used to be on the rail at one point. Now I'm all the way like
you're like kids these days.
I'm like getting up for like a few songs here and there, but then I'm like chilling. But it's a long festival. It goes from noon to like 6 a.m. every day.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So. You can go
noon to 6 a.m. That's
noon one day to 6 a.m. the next. Yeah. So what it is it's you get there. Thursday is when the actual festival starts, but you can camp all the way from Monday to Sunday.
Oh wow!
They open camping Monday, and they have a silent disco stage also. I forgot to add. There's a third stage. It's silent disco,
right?
And that's also just like it's like in the little area in the woods that's just like underground, and like you can go by, put headphones on, listen, and keep going. But
that's cool. Yeah.
So you get there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can get there to camp. The festival starts Thursday. I usually get there Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah, it goes from noon to 5 a.m. every day from Thursday to Sunday. And you're just, living it up.
Yeah. So who's playing there? I see a lot of the biggies for you.
Yeah, this is a very bass-heavy lineup this year.
Yeah.
And it's actually cool because they used to, many years ago, they were like all around. Like they had like Wiz Khalifa there. They had like hip-hop. They had bands.
Okay.
Now they're sort of going more towards the EDM side, and they're going more bass-heavy on this one, which is cool to see. But the first person we see is on Thursday. They have a special guest. So Thursday is technically the pre-party of the festival. Like the festival's open, but it's not the festival. It's the pre-party.
Yeah.
Still on the main stage, but you're getting Wooly as your headliner on the pre-party, which is crazy to see as a pre-party. Like, that's a huge name. He was at the Sylvie recently, like it was fully booked in there, like pretty full. But we get Wooly Thursday. A few artists are gonna obviously play before him, and then there's some at the nighttime. Yeah. And then Friday you get the next biggest thing to hit the market, Subtronics, which is everyone. I don't know anyone that really doesn't like Subtronics. Yeah. And that's our headliner for Friday. Headliner Saturday is the OG Excision. Everyone knows Excision.
I think, didn't we go see him at the Sylvie also? Was it
Excision? We saw Subtronics.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Excision has not gone to the Sylvie.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty, he'd be like an arena.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lot bigger. Yeah.
And then Sunday.
Slander we saw.
I think I saw him with you, but I saw him. I've seen Slander like 8 times.
Yeah.
Now.
And I saw him at EDC also.
That's what it, So Slander closing out the festival Sunday, which is honestly amazing because they're like hitting you with like, they make like feelsy music, but also dubstep. So it's like going to be heavy, but it's a good like emotional ending to the whole thing.
One of the things I liked about them was that, so I think the emotional like sort of like kind of euphoric dubstep is sort of sounded like it draws people, right? A lot of fans, and then all of a sudden they hit you with their hard stuff like
No, their sets, like every time I've seen them, this concept's pretty the same, where they hit you with a big intro and it's heavy and like super just nonstop, like 4 drops in a row style. And then they have so many songs with vocalists and like feelsy music that they make themselves. Yeah. And they'll just throw in one of their slow ones. Everyone's feeling it. There's visuals that go with that song and all that. And then after that song wraps up, they hit you with like 4 more. Yeah. And then recently, the last set I saw them at, they actually like had all these segments, and then probably 3/4 of the way through their set, they went into a tech house.
Yeah, like, I remember hearing that. Yeah. Like all of a sudden they break into it. I feel like they might have even played like a drum and bass beat. All of a sudden it got fast and it was like.
They started like expanding their their genres a little bit in their sets.
So that's gonna be a fun closer.
Yeah, and then the small names that you see on this list also are like huge names. They could headline any venue in any city, basically. But it's
your buddy Ahi.
Yeah, Ahi. I've learned like so much from that guy's tutorials. But he's on there. You got Alley Cat, who's like on the come up, just been selling out venue after venue. She's killing it. And then you have ATL Aliens. That's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I screw it up every time.
Yeah, but I'm always like, you
got the 2 alien guys.
Yeah, and the 2 guys with an alien feet. Yeah.
You got them. Automate, Ominous, Boogie T, Cyclops, who's just been absolutely murdering the scene lately. Drink Your Water was in Milwaukee recently. They have Eptic in the small print, which is crazy because that dude's like massive.
Yeah.
It just
So they have a
seeing
lot of
some
big
these
names, yeah.
they're big names in small print right now on this flyer, and it's like, wow, like these. You got Yuki, you got Lay's, Level Up, you got just Kaiwachi in the small print. Like, and then also to note, this could be a good way to go to our next lineup, is in the small print we have Of the Trees. And Of the Trees is in the big print on Electric Force lineup.
Yeah.
Fun fact. So he's headlining Electric Force, just small print on Dance Fest.
So they just have so many acts that
there's so many
almost,
where it's just like
yeah.
So that's a wrap on the Dance Fest lineup, and I definitely recommend it. This is my third year going now in a row, and our original thing was we want to try new festivals every 2 years, me and my group. Yeah. And this one had us by the chokehold. Like after this lineup came out, because we weren't going to go to this. We were going to go to Electric Forest.
Right.
But then after this lineup came out, we were like let's do 3 years, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's how they keep you coming back. Yeah,
exactly. And then my kicker with the only thing that would have held me from going to this was if Electric Forest put Skrillex on that lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Then I would have been like, psh, gone.
So it's either or for you on the festivals. You wouldn't do both.
No, I mean, money is a thing.
Yeah.
That's the other problem.
Yeah, that's true. Like it's, EDC does, I always do the layaway because
I do layaway. Like that's the best bet ever.
Yeah.
Like if there wasn't for layaway on some of these festivals I've gone to,
it's like who has like $1,200 to just drop or 800
exactly.
whatever, like 2 tickets are easily,
Also to add to me getting older, and we used to like for showers, like you're at a festival, like I need a shower. Props to anyone that can just go all week without the shower. But I need a shower, and usually we brought these bags that you fill with water, and you put them on the top of your car. They heat up from the sun. You sprinkle yourself. It's a nice, like, you're not clean, but it's giving you like a
little bit of
But this year I bought a shower.
Nice.
Yeah,
you're bringing all the
I'm not
amenities.
bringing the shower. They offer showers,
they offer
but I usually didn't buy the pass to do it. This year I said, give me it. I'm gonna.
Yeah, well, definitely hit us in the comments if you're going to Dancefestopia or if you've seen any of the artists we've mentioned. And maybe you could say hi to Phil.
Yeah, reach
He'll
out.
be by the showers.
Enough. Yeah, I'll be by the showers.
You'll be in line for the showers.
If enough of you go, we could do like a little meetup.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So the next one we wanted to talk about is Movement, which happens in Detroit.
Yeah, you put me onto this one. I never heard about it.
Yeah, and I heard about it because it's like kind of big. A lot of the techno and house, and Detroit is the home of techno, right? And I was looking at this, it's the week after EDC Vegas, and so I haven't been able to make it. But one of these years I will go. But
you
this
just don't
year,
go to EDC one of these years.
Yeah, I know exactly. But this one has Carl Cox doing. It's billed as a hybrid live set. So I'm
what does that mean?
My sense is he's probably going to bring some kind of like pad, and just make live beats
like
while he mixes
push or something.
A push or a machine or something.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen Carl Cox, like he's like super energetic, and he's like an inspiration because he's been around since the 80s, man.
Right.
Like, this guy
he was doing vinyl
back in the day, and British DJ. He plays all the big festivals, and he's just a legend. A legend in from any angle you see at production or the business side or whatever. I've
definitely seen his name a lot.
And also, Carl Craig, who's another, all of these guys are like OGs.
If your name's Carl, you're probably a house DJ.
Yeah.
That's what it's at.
It started. And Chase and Status is making an appearance.
Yeah,
so I haven't seen them either. I know they were on your list. And that's one of the reasons when we went over a list recently of like people you'd go see.
Yeah, people we did a segment of the Mount Rushmore with one of our guests.
Yeah, which will be in a future episode.
Yeah. But Chase and Status would be cool because they still do like the live MC and stuff.
Right,
so they're old school, but they're playing the new sound. So
they do drum and bass though, right? Like that's
But they got like back in the day when they would have an MC for drum and bass. They had the vocalists up there rapping and stuff to the beat.
I think the UK still does it. Like the US for some reason they don't do it as much.
We never really took it in yet, fully. Like I feel like the US is behind Europe on music. Like they know, like it's like fashion, like clothing.
Yeah,
like whatever we're wearing.
If you go to a Respect drum and bass in LA, there's always an MC Dino or one of those guys, because it's like LA was sort of, we did embrace the MC thing. But I think we don't see it. It's not a thing.
I didn't even know an MC was a thing until like 5 weeks ago or something. When you said something, I was like, they used to have MCs for EDM shows.
Yeah, and it's like it's just for the like drum and bass.
You're right.
So
No, that's a big name on there.
the other one that jumps out at me on the movement lineup is DJ Minx. So
I don't know that one.
Yeah, so she's from Detroit, and she played EDC last year too, but she's a house DJ, also from like the 80s. And one of the interesting things about her is that she started a label for female producers and DJs,
Gotcha.
like back in like the 90s, right? And so she's been really kind of, a lot of house and techno women DJs kind of look to her for like, she's like in, big in Milwaukee, Chicago, and all these places. Dude, she rocked it. Like it was the Boombox Art Car. If anybody has been at EDC Vegas, right? There's a Boombox Art Car. She played the main stage with Carl Cox. They did a back to back. But then, she was in this tiny little side thing, and that's where I saw the people breaking out in the electric slide.
Oh, that's that video? Yeah.
There's just all of a sudden, she's like playing like the, just dope, like disco house sounding stuff. And then all of a sudden, like the crowd, I mean, I don't know if they planned it, but it looked like pretty spontaneous. And all
one
of a sudden,
person in the crowd gathered them and was like, let's go, guys.
Yeah. I would have joined, but I don't know how to do the electric slide. I was just kind of grooving separately.
I would just be doing whatever.
And then the other big one that sort of, there's a bunch of people in this lineup, but I think, John Summit, who is a Chicago native.
That's a big one.
And I imagine he's going to be doing, he's like house mainly. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, he's been experimenting with some of the bass artists I know.
Right.
So like, and he's been just randomly doing a house set, and then all out of nowhere he will drop like some dubstep or not dubstep, but it's like wonky.
Yeah. Yeah. And he also like he did the drum and bass, that big song with Sub Focus.
But he, all these names are on here, but he's the one that's he's for the kids.
Right,
like the
exactly.
kids are going to come in for that one, and then they're going to learn a lesson from the older folks.
Yeah, they're going to get schooled by all the like, old school DJs, basically.
Yeah.
So that is May 24th to 26th in Detroit.
Memorial Day weekend. So if you happen to be, jonesing some, I still haven't been to Detroit, so maybe I'll make it one of these days. I don't know, maybe I'll just jump into this year. My favorite hockey team is the Red Wings, and I still haven't been to their arena. So
really?
I got to go there too.
Yeah. Maybe you should, road trip. It's also like in the middle of downtown Detroit, so I wonder if you could just like hang out and, hear the music a few blocks away.
Oh, like it's just a fence blocking you from being there?
I that's the pictures I've seen.
That happened in Atlanta when I was there for a trip. I wasn't there for music, but we were like just walking around. They had like this, like I think like weed festival going on or something, and there was really like I forgot what artist it was, but it was someone big at the time was playing, and you could just hear it over the fence. So it was just like, all right, let's just stand here. And
that's how it was. I saw Swedish House Mafia in Miami, like on Brickell. Like it was like a park, and there was like all the apartment buildings were around the park.
Set?
Well, no, it was a show, like like it was fenced in or whatever. Yeah. But like the people that lived in the apartments were just totally watching the show.
Right?
Like,
why not?
It was crazy.
You got like VIP seating.
Yeah, basically, you're just chilling there and like Swedish House Mafia is just, and I think that one had the guy that did that Rihanna song. He's kind of big. He like dated Taylor Swift.
I don't. DJ?
Yeah, he's a DJ. like he did the
Let's see, we got computers.
Yeah. Anyway, so
no, I'm fine.
Why am I blanking on his name?
Calvin Harris.
Yes. He was one of the openers. So
nice.
And that was right when that Rihanna song was like coming out and whatever. So it was good times. But anyway, yes. So the last festival, it's another one I haven't been to, but we wanted to review it because we're in Madison. We're Midwest based.
I know a lot of people that go to this one too.
Yeah, so. This is Electric Forest.
Yeah, the Electric Forest lineup. So there's people that love it and there's people that hate it. There's no in between. This is what I've been learning on social media. At least, is you either love this lineup or you absolutely hate it. And
where do you fall into it?
I fall into I respect the lineup.
Yeah,
I respect it, but I don't know if I would.
You're not going to make the effort to go.
For the money, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, gotcha.
But the festival I heard is amazing. Even if you didn't like anyone on this lineup, just going there in general would be like an experience.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I would imagine the only one I know on this lineup, and I guess this just shows how my drum and bass bias, but Worship.
You should know Justice too.
Is Justice a drum and bass person?
No, they're like house. You definitely have heard their songs.
Maybe I have.
They're like older. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and I know Tiesto, but like,
Yeah, but he's been around for.
yeah, he's like, you know.
I saw that guy in high school when I was like 16
Yeah.
at Summerfest Milwaukee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's been around for, and you know, I'm not. Well,
You know Fisher? He's on this too.
a lot of these. I mean, so maybe I'll.
Wow, we gotta school you.
I gotta catch up on a lot of my, names.
Anyway, to look at this festival lineup, they have for Thursday they have Justice, they have Liquid Stranger, and they have Sarah Landry. So Liquid Stranger is your bass, heavy, like experimental, weird.
Yeah.
Justice is gonna be your like vibe house, and then Sarah Landry, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I've never looked into her music.
No.
Don't really know, but I know she's big.
Yeah.
So then we go to Friday, and you have Tiesto, which is your OG.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have Louis the Child, Chicago-based. That's a cool one to see because I saw them doing their own thing when they were small, and now they're headlining Electric Forest.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
crazy. Yeah.
And then they have what you said, Worship, which is Subfocus, Dimension, Culture Shock, and 1991.
Yeah.
All in one.
Those guys have been, making a very concerted effort to like blow up drum and bass in the US.
Well, they're definitely.
Yeah,
They've been popping up a lot lately.
Yeah, they're like the super group of now, and it's just
Then we go to Saturday, and we have Fisher, which you definitely. I'm losing it. You don't know that song? Oh my, we gotta.
Yeah. You're gonna have to send me some links.
Yeah, Fisher's on there. Then we got Disclosure DJ set because they make like. They've been on the radio a good amount, Disclosure. That's a good one. And then Barry Can't Swim, not 100% sure who that is. But yeah, and then we go to Sunday, the final day. You have Of the Trees, which is he's on the Dance Fest lineup too, but that'll be like experimental beats and stuff like that. It's fun. He's got his own sound. It's really unique.
Yeah.
And then you have Mochak, not sure, and Krugbin. I'm butchering these names probably, but I've never heard
that
these
one's a
people.
hard one to say. Like Krug, like it's got an H after the K, and then
spelling to it.
Yeah,
and then you have two incidences of the String Cheese Incident. So that's like the classic.
Is that?
So that's like a group. I've never seen them, but I've listened to their music from people just like saying they're always on this lineup.
Okay,
they're always on the Electric Forest lineup.
Yeah. So it's like a
I think
tradition.
they're like a jam band type of style.
Got it.
I think it's like a jam band. But yeah, and then in the small print, you got some
Crank That I've heard.
Crank That, yeah, that's a good one. You have Mersive, you have Zingara, you have Mind Chatter, Gordo. That's you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Gordo is Carnage.
Okay.
Yeah. He's doing his thing. You have Hamdi, who's crazy. Yeah, that's a pretty good, solid small artist. And then you have even smaller print on this lineup. They did 2 small prints, and that one you got YDG, Moody Good. Pocket, Pretty Pink, Bambi, 33 Below, a lot of underground, not like household names.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's fun about a big festival like these, right? Like you just go and find.
Well, you're gonna discover all this. Like I didn't know these names.
Yeah,
and just from reading them, I'd go check them out just to see. Like,
it's like just I see Wonky Will. I want to know what that is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like is it in the name? Is it Wonky?
Yeah, is it Wonky or is it just ironic?
Right. No, yeah. Overall, though, like not a bad lineup. I mean, like definitely has a taste to it.
Yeah. Well, tell us which ones you're looking forward to seeing, or if you've seen any of them and you want to school me on some of these artists that I don't know about.
I'll school you after this for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
with Fisher.
Yeah,
but no, yeah. Let us know what festivals you're going to. These are just lineups we saw that have dropped. There's other major ones obviously, but there's no lineups out.
Right.
Tell us what you like about them. Tell us why you keep going back to them.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
And if you've been to any one of them, like what's some of your favorite experiences.
Feel free
there.
to drop that in the comments on our post. And
you can always send us the tales from the rave.
There's no way you guys don't have tales from the rave.
Yeah, there's got to be something.
You're at a festival for 3 days. You've definitely seen some shit.
Yeah, that you remember anyway.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, that has been our first edition of The Drop, and we'll be doing this every week. With Happy New Year. We wanted to get this stuff out because the year is starting, and we're all making our plans already for festival season. So,
and then we'll be back with more stuff like this. It's not going to be always reviews on festivals. We're going to talk about what's trending, what's happening.
There's always some interesting news happening always on the EDM scene.
There's always some kind of gossip, right?
Yeah, especially on the X platform.
Oh yeah,
y'all really get into it over
Everyone
there.
Yeah. There's no rules on X, is what I'm learning.
It's lawless.
It's just people calling people out and just
All right, cool. Check. Done. And now, it's time to get into what we hope will be one of our most fun and infamous segments, Tales from the Rave, a space where we share our stories from past festivals. Remember that you can submit your stories by going to tales.madunity.com, or you can tell us in the comments right here, where you watch and listen to the podcast. In this first segment, we are joined by our friends and podcast contributors, Mycelial Flow and Flat, two local DJs from the Madison scene. Frequency has the lowdown on how it works. Take it away, Freak.
Yeah, so Tales from the Rave. So what this segment's going to be in the coming shows is every episode we're going to end it with a thing called Tales from the Rave. And what that is you guys, the viewers at home, maybe us sometimes, when we don't have you guys to go on, like this one is our first show. But you guys are going to send us in your Tales from the Rave. So it can be like the coolest thing you saw at the rave, the weirdest thing, like anything you've seen that's just like only you saw it, like no one else could have seen this, or like your group saw it and it's just like a wow moment that happened at the rave. It can even be like a drop that you heard or like a crazy double. Anything that you think was crazy at the rave, we want to end our show with those segments. So to start off, for example, I recently played a show with the Immortals Collective in Madison at Liquid. It was the night before Halloween, going into Halloween night. So huge lineup all night. Started at 9 p.m., went till 2 a.m. And I was part of the Immortals set. So at 11:40, we got on stage. There was B5B, 5 of us. And we're all up there in our Halloween costumes, just playing rhythm, playing dubstep, just acting foolish. But so we're up there and someone's mixing. I'm standing in the back because there's like 5 of us. So there's like 2 people up there working on stuff. 3 of us just like dancing, acting stupid. But we're back there, and then all of a sudden I look to my right, and people are like, there's photographers usually there taking photos and like whatnot. But I looked to my right, and someone familiar was on the right, and it was Zach Foucher. And if you don't know, he runs Dub Hub. He just absolutely kills it out here in the Midwest, just running the scene out here. But featuring my cat, if you can see that.
I just realized you guys can't see him, but his cat just peered over.
But anyway, so he was on the side of the stage, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna like go say what's up. So go say what's up. That was the first time meeting him in person, and I've known about him and like heard about him. So
wait, that was your first time meeting Zach Foucher?
What?
That was your first time meeting Zach Foucher?
Yeah, like
what a wild first way. That sounds exactly like the first way to meet Zach.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right. So me being like younger, like mindset DJ, being like, I'm gonna go say what's up, be friendly, whatnot, like like introduce myself. So I go up there, dap him up. We're saying what's up, what's good, and then out of nowhere, he just like whips out his backpack and he pulls out this like purple bag, and it was like this big, and I'm like, what is that? Hands it to me. He's like, you want some sudden death beef jerky? And I was like, no way, dude. Like, what? And then I'm like, dude, yeah, I'll definitely try it. He's like, yeah, dude, go ahead, bro. And then he's like, give some to the rest of the guys, like the B5B, all of them. I was like, okay, sick. So I had like 2 bags, went up to them. I was like, guys, I got sudden death beef jerky. And everyone's like, what? Like, people are mixing, just like looking at me, like chopping, like, what's going on here? And then, so I just started handing out that beef jerky. People were loving it. And like, it's made with soy, so it's vegetarian. Like one person was like, I can't have that. And I was like, no, like, look, it's made out of soy. Like, you can have it. And it was really good. Not going to lie. It was really good beef jerky. But did you
go out and buy your own stash after?
I did not. If it was like, if I could get it like in person somewhere at a store, I would, but you have to like order it online right now.
Oh yeah, that's always harder.
Should have just tried to snag a few bags from Zach.
Right? When he wasn't looking, you just took a few bags.
No, I just meant buy some from him. Not like.
Well, you said snag.
Well, you know that. Just meant snag as in buy some, not actually.
Oh, that's where my mind goes immediately.
Okay.
For shame. All right, who wants to go next?
Yeah, that's my tale from the rave. I was like, whoa, beef jerky on stage.
Okay, I got a fun one. Aaliyah and I just went to Infrasound this past couple months for their Equinox one in September, and it was night 2, I think, Friday night, and we were hanging out by the Treehouse stage. It's like this really dope stage setup where they have like this really cool treehouse built basically, and then they projection map and they have a bunch of lasers and everything. But we were sitting there, we were chilling, and I was sitting down on this nice lawn chair, and then this dude walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, you want some sangria?" I was like, I was like, "Sure, I guess, yeah." And then he's like, "All right, but it's in a Tide bottle." So I drink some of this Tide sangria, which
the red
ones? The big red Tide,
like it was a big red Tide.
Yeah, the ones that are not transparent at all.
Yeah.
So like you were like 50-50, it might be Tide.
Honestly, I was like, I don't really know. It definitely he didn't wash the container out as well as he probably should have, because it was definitely a little soapy, I'm not gonna lie. But the very same night after music had stopped, I ended up going and playing some cards with some people across from us, and there was this dude that was just kind of wild, you know what I mean, just like going off and just like, you know, kind of being the life of the party for everybody. And at this point it was late in the night, and so I definitely wasn't thinking clearly, and when I went to bed and woke up, I wandered over and found somebody playing Super Smash Bros on the N64 in the middle of this festival, right, with a little like CRV TV. Turns out to be the same dude that gave me the Tide sangria, and was also the dude hanging out while we were playing cards, and it didn't all click until he finally beat me in Smash Bros 64. So,
wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on a minute.
It all clicked because he had a sign on his little area where he was playing Smash Bros, and it was like the Tide guy and then everyone else, and it was like the Tide guy had like 50, 60, almost like 100, you know, tallies of wins, and then there was no other wins.
So it seems a little unfair. You probably had it, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm sure he's been playing since it came out.
And
he's like, I only play people that drink the sangria.
Right, exactly. A lot of sangria so he can beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Infrasound's always a wild one. It seems like full circle
every day. Where is Infrasound?
It's in Harmony Park in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah, so about 4 hours from here in Madison.
Nice. And you guys were just out there too for...
yeah, we were out there for 3 nights of Pretty Lights.
Yeah, Pretty Lights. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Pretty
that one was wild. I wrote a little...
the Armory?
Yeah.
Nice. That's like my top... That's like one of my top venues. I think to number 1, honestly.
Yeah, it was my first time going there, and I loved it. The sound was great. It was, well built and very spacious. So
yeah.
So have you had that time to think of yours, Aaliyah? Still no. All right, we'll give her. I thought of one. It was actually many years ago. Most of my stories, as you know, are going to be from back when I was your age. But I had
back in the drum and bass era, we used vinyl.
But we, I had just gotten my first. It was a Nikon digital camera. I forget the model, but I would just taking it to parties and learning how to use the speed light, right? Because those flashes you could do kind of on the side or whatever. And there was another friend of mine who had just also gotten her camera. So we started we did like a long exposure. We're like, what would happen if we do that, right? And so we were shooting, like doing shots, kind of like syncopated. So she would shoot hers and I would shoot mine, and we had them all in long exposure. So we were like, basically we're in this dirty warehouse, just like the lighting was terrible. It was just like a random light behind the DJ. And it was this guy UFO playing some of the craziest drum and bass at the time, just like with us, just sort of like, flashing or whatever. We didn't even really look at our things. We just got so into it. And then, you know, like afterwards when we were kind of like switching shots, we got some of the most like just really random, interesting like photos, like, you know, that we, you know, that I'd ever gotten because I never knew where her light was going to point. So I just kind of had it on a long exposure and then it would go off. So then like, you know, but it's like, it was just kind of crazy to think about like just the sort of the creativity that comes at a, you know, festival, rave, whatever, where you're not really encumbered by any like, you know, just like my thing was always like, there's no like expectations of what, you know, other than like, you know, being nice to people, but like, you know, just like letting your kind of freak flag fly, whatever that may be. So yeah, you know, that's one of my, you know, the stories that just came to my mind, you know, making content back in the day before content was a thing.
I feel like content's always been a thing, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, you know, because like nowadays with the phone, you can do all kinds of fun stuff too. All right,
dude, the phone like ruined content.
Yeah. Now
it's so much harder for life.
Everybody, yeah, exactly. Everything is captured.
Everything, and you have to post everywhere, and and everyone else is doing it, so you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but you kind of, you know, if you want to, if you want to participate, if you want to participate, you kind of got to be on. That reminds me, actually, we haven't mentioned the Discord, so to give Aaliyah a little bit more time. For all of the stories, you could either submit them through our Instagram and just message us there. But also, we have a Discord channel. We have an open invitation. And then on the website, at the footer of the new website, you'll be able to click on the Discord and find us there, as well as Instagram and Facebook. So, I feel like if for all your stories and random stuff you want to submit, that'll be a good place for us to keep track of that stuff.
Yeah, just other general nonsense too, I'm sure. Well,
pretty much,
come talk to us, figure out and say hello. We can answer back. We'll be a little more active in the Discord.
Exactly. It's you know, just...
It'll be live action in the Discord.
A place for shenanigans.
Yeah.
All right,
are you ready?
I think
no
so. No pressure. This one I'm going to go and I'm going to talk about my first ever festival that I did alone.
Yeah.
Which 100% would do it again. Would recommend to anyone who is thinking about doing it. Just 100% send it. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into and make sure you're safe, of course. But 100%, definitely the most amazing time. I flew all the way to Florida, drove an hour from where I got dropped off in Jacksonville, and went to Swanee 2 years ago. I've gone to Swanee ever since for when Tipper comes. It was my first time going there. Absolutely beautiful community. The vibes, amazing. I met so many just beautiful souls that had so many beautiful conversations, and it's like going alone can seem very scary, but like it definitely is an amazing experience to at least do once.
Yeah. What was one? Because when I've gone by myself, I just enjoy roaming and not having to like, you know, wait for people.
Which is like my favorite thing. You're not on anyone else's schedule.
Right.
When you're done with the conversation, you don't have to wait there. If you got to go do something, you could just go do it, come back. Also, I find it's harder to get where you want to be in crowds with multiple people. I feel more rude bringing a crowd of people into the middle of a crowd with me. But like if it's by myself, like I'm feeling, you know, I can feel more confident that I could just go up to the rail by myself and, you know, make that my spot. And I feel like it's more welcomed if you're by yourself, and people are more like willing to like take you into groups. Like my first Swanee, I ended up being into 5 different groups.
Yeah.
For like, I was there for 3 days, and it was just like the most beautiful experience. And like, I have met so many beautiful people like by doing festivals by myself, like that I keep up with.
Until one of the groups gets jealous from the other group, and then I'm just
yeah, that's why you're only with them for a little bit, and then like you just go, you just go off to the next one. You just still do your own thing.
I've definitely done a few of those by myself. It's an experience.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started going out too, that was how I would get off work from the restaurant I was working at and just hop in the car and just head to LA and, you know, just dance my ass off. And then on the way back, pick up a new mixtape at the party and then listen to it on the way home. All right.
What a time to be alive.
Yes. I said mixtape. I'm sorry. So back when we... That about does it for this, our first episode of Mad Unity, our EDM life. We're so grateful that you chose to spend your time with us. On the next episode, Phrequency is reunited with a couple of his Icon Collective school friends, where they catch up on their lives and careers as music producers since graduating from the program. We also have a couple of exciting whips that week and another edition of The Drop. Later this season, we talk with more producers like Raphael out of Minneapolis, Blaze Orange out of Milwaukee, and Panfil and Rub out of Chicago. So be sure to follow us. We want to thank the producers featured in this episode, Established Music out of Vancouver and Machima from Madison, for the super dope tracks. Both songs will be out by mid-January, so look out for them on your favorite music platforms. Thanks as well to Phrequency's collab partner OneDrop for the exciting new release. Be sure to follow us on this, your favorite podcast platform. Plus, leave us your thoughts, questions, and suggestions in the comments. And also, stay in the know by following us on all the social platforms. We are at Mad Unity Radio in pretty much all of them. Also, send us your music at music.madunity.com or your stories at tales.madunity.com. The theme music for this podcast was composed and produced by Phrequency. The music for this episode produced by me, Cosmo Brown, under my moniker 60 Days. Thank you again, and see you back on episode 2.
Listen, feel, experience.